Today we're going to be talking about regrouping and restoring well. My name is Jaclyn Foster. I'm the author of I Touch Myself, Lessons to Wake Up Desire and Fire Up Your Sex Drive. And this channel is all about providing you with permission for your pleasure, your pain, and for new possibilities in your life. And today specifically, we're going to talk about how to rest and restore well versus taking time to be kind of down and away from things, but doing it in a way that can be counterproductive to clarity and to feeling well. And I'm going to talk about why this is so important. I actually just took kind of a hiatus, and I had a hibernation period kind of for weeks with creating my video blog, because I was going through a period of struggling with overwhelm, with feeling stressed, with feeling like I had gone through basically a 7-year period where I just worked myself, and there was a lot of intense things that happened. I went through a divorce. I helped one of my partners through losing his mother, which got very intensive for a while in caring for her and all the emotions that go with that, through multiple job changes, through some family events and some family trauma that really impacted me. There was just so much that I was trying to do and work through and be strong and be there for other people that I realized that I had completely, maybe not completely, but in many ways I had forgotten to really care well for myself and to actually give myself some proper time and space to be well, to be emotionally and physically well. And so leading up to that, this November, December time of this past year, I could feel myself desperate for taking some time. I saw other people around me taking time for themselves, which was inspiring and also conflicting for me, because I was just thinking, shit, here I go, another year where I'm not taking time for myself. We need to change this. So I scheduled time for myself in March this month. Interestingly enough, with everything now that has come up with the coronavirus, I had actually scheduled some retreat time for myself just to be. And I didn't realize just how much I actually needed it until I was in it, and found myself tearful as I was looking at the birds and the ducks and just kind of slowing things down. And so what I realized in taking that space was just how impactful it was to allow myself to slow down, to allow myself a time where I wasn't trying to be productive, where I wasn't trying to get anything done, where I was just letting myself be with myself, where I meditated, where I colored, where I drew, where I took walks, where I allowed myself to meander a bit, to procrastinate a bit, to just to do what I needed to do for myself, and I let it be scheduled and I let it be intentional. And this is what I am encouraging you to do. If you are in a space of feeling any stress or overwhelm, or you can relate, just feeling like so much has happened in your life, and because of that overwhelm, you feel a lack of clarity and a lot of uncertainty about what's next. That might be in your relationship, it might be in your career, it might be in other ways that you want to show up and give in the world, but we cannot do it well, or at least continuously and well for an extended period of time, if we are not well from within. Now, I know this can sound really cliche. It can be like, oh, self-care is important, of course, but it's actually one aspect of self-care is deliberately giving ourselves space to be goalless, to be with ourselves just for the reason of being with ourselves. And that is very different. I want to give you the contrast here, because that's very different from just numbing ourselves from drinking and smoking and watching TV and being on the news and social media. A lot of that is just more distracting. If it's a short thing that we watch that we're inspired by and we move on, it's one thing. But if we allow ourselves to just snowball into getting stuck in that, what we're actually doing is we're not creating space, we're actually just trying to fill a void. And the more that we get into those habits and those patterns of just filling a void, the more uncomfortable it is when we actually are presented with space, which I think some people are experiencing right now with this world slowdown. So obviously there's multiple aspects to this, but I think for some of us, part of that is just being uncomfortable with space because we don't give ourselves much of it. And so if we move directly to just filling that void with some of the news and some of the things that are a part of being informed, but also a part of just distracting ourselves in a way that doesn't feel good, it's really important to pull ourselves back so we can see a larger picture for ourselves, or we can take the pressure off what is happening in our lives in order to have more clarity to move forward. So my homework for you, my suggestion for you today is to ask yourself what you can do to create space for yourself, what you can do to take the pressure off of having any answers, of knowing what to do, of allowing yourself just to be. These can be things like taking walks, journaling, drawing, coloring, being with your pets, staring at a wall, meandering around the house, anything that actually is just for the reason of being. Those are the kind of things you want to aim for. So create a list and intentionally and deliberately create some time to do that. It may look like setting a timer for 20 minutes to do it. You may be able to give yourself a whole day to do that kind of thing. So give this a try. Create space rather than distract. Give space rather than fill a void, and see what happens in that time where you're not trying to look for any solutions or answers. You're just allowing yourself to be with yourself. Feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know what you're doing to create space and reduce overwhelm right now. I'd love to hear it. And I will see you next time. Wishing you so much love. Mwah. And until next time, keep your desires alive. Allow for your pleasure. Allow for your pain. Allow yourself just to be. Mwah.